Hello dears, and welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Ana, where we'll share with you a lot of interesting and useful information from Benidorm town and Spain in general. Today it's time for a lot of very interesting and useful news for your future holidays here in the area, so make sure you stay tuned up until the end. First of all, we'll be talking about the general situation in here, what the holidays are like, if there's still a lot of people or way less already. Then we'll be talking about electric scooters and why they can be sadly really dangerous, and something that happened to British tourists here 2 days ago in the lovely national park of Benidorm. And the last news will be rooftops, the entirely new way of tourism. They tore down the beautiful rooftops of Benidorm skyline, and where we have the best rooftop terraces and pools here in the zone. And of course, we'll finish talking about the weather for the next upcoming days. Let's start with the situation first, shall we? Actually, right now, I must say that we can already see that there is way less people coming. Don't get me wrong, it's still really busy here in Benidorm, Altea, like all our Costa Blanca touristic zone. However, it's not the same as it used to be before. Even true that right now, starting from 26th today up until 28th of August, there's going to be official return trips, which is called like this in Spanish. It basically means that all national tourists are returning, the majority of them are returning from touristic areas back to their hometown to prepare for work or to prepare for the new school season, which will start shortly in a lot of the autonomic regions here in Spain. So basically right now, a lot of people are traveling on road. Be really careful if you have a rented car, make sure you travel safely to avoid unnecessary issues, because there's a lot of car accidents these upcoming days, and usually it happens every single year at the exact same dates. Apart from that, Benidorm still has a lot of tourists, but I would definitely dare to say that not as much as beginning and mid-summer, because obviously British tourists still do travel. However, they stopped for a little while, and right now the majority of the tourists that we've had were national tourists, were Portuguese. There's a lot of Portuguese tourists and French ones as well. Hotels are still quite busy, but we start to see the slight decrease in tourism, because basically in 5 days the calendar summer will be officially over and September will finally start. For all those of us who live here personally, it's a huge relief, because we were so tired from this extreme heat that we've had. That we are just dying to have some fresh air, some light rain, you know, some fresh breeze, so that we would be able to spend this golden summer, you know, so that we will be able to spend basically more time on the outside before our children get back to school. So still very busy, but not as busy as it was during June and July and first part of August. The second news that I wanted to share with you all, it's a sad story of how electric scooters might be really dangerous and might even take up the life of a person. I'm really sad for this family, and my condolences for what happened. Actually, I don't think they'll be looking this video, but if they will by any chance, or if people who know them will be looking this video by any chance, it's a sad situation. I know it's very difficult to deal with, but I just wish them all the best, a lot of strength, and with the time, hopefully it will be a little bit easier. What exactly happened? This is all over local Spanish newspapers, and not only local ones, but also like national-wide ones. There was a British couple that came here for holidays to Benidorm with their grandson of 8 years old. They rented up mobility scooters at one of the companies. The newspaper does not say which company it was, just to avoid, you know, misunderstandings and issues for the company. Obviously, because there is an open investigation going on just yet. So the only details that we basically have is that this couple rented 2 mobility scooters, and their grandson was going on one of them with the grandmother. They went for an excursion towards the Benidorm Cross, which is a difficult excursion to do walking. It's quite high to the top, you know, which is why I suppose they rented mobility scooters. And on their way back, already near the famous Cala Tio Chimo, this is a picture of that cala, basically on their way from already the national park, just 100 meters probably were left, you know, to exit it. Something happened. Police is still not sure what exactly, but the scooter that the woman was going with her grandson just abruptly crashed into the border, into these wooden, you know, like borders that separate the beach area, the cala, from the road, exact road. And the crash was so hard, so intense, that she just rolled over the border, the wooden border. It's even hard to speak about it. It's really unpleasant situation, really dangerous. But I know that you should know this because it's not a joke. Mobility scooters are not a game, and it can cost your life. So you need to be really, really careful when you do these things, especially when you drive with smaller children. And she just rolled over, and obviously, and sadly, she passed away. The municipal police and firefighters could not do anything for her, and she passed away here in Benidorm. Her grandson is in the ICU unit, pediatric ICU unit. First of all, they brought it to Villajoyosa Hospital, but due to the severe injuries, they had to bring it to the pediatric unit in Alicante. Now he's there. Probably he will recover and everything is kind of getting better, but the shock that this family has been through is just tremendous, which is why I say you always need to be careful. Police officers, during all this extreme precautions that they were having all this summer, you know, the checkups that they were doing during July, August, and June months, they've put around 300 fines for mobility scooter users, especially the ones that were using it outside of the age gap and obviously did not have any kind of mobility issues. Which in this case it's accepted, but if you don't have any mobility issues and you're less than 55 years old, then you should not be using it. There's no apparent issue, like reason for you to be using that, according to the police officers, okay? And they're putting fines up until 500 euros. The issue is not only with people who are using it or leaving it parked in the areas that are not for mobility scooters. They're going way past the speed limit, allowed speed limit, throughout the walking zones where pedestrians are walking, but also with the companies that just rent it to anyone that comes. The main issue is that these scooters, mostly run by British, by the way, which doesn't mean anything bad. It's just a statistics that here, especially British people, you know, like older people that have mobility issues, they rent these scooters because it's an amazing opportunity to discover Benidorm without having to walk miles and miles, you know, which just makes them this trip more comfortable, which is quite okay. The issue comes when it's used in an incorrect way. In this case, mobility scooters are really, really cheap, which is why they're being rented so much. Daily, around 500 scooters are being rented, and it costs everywhere around from 10 euros a day up until 50 euros for the entire week of the mobility scooter. And they just ask you sometimes a deposit of like barely 25 euros, and that's basically it. And you have a whole week for 50 euros of a mobility scooter. So basically, because it's cheap for a lot of not teenagers, but like young adults, it seems fun and comfortable, which is why they try and rent it. And a lot of companies still do so, even though they know it should not be the case if there are no indications for its use. And especially now, after this sadly happened, they've opened the investigation to investigate the company as well, to see if maybe there was an issue with brakes, because you know, when you go from Benidorm's Cross, you go down the hill quite fast. And you need to be careful with it. So they're investigating the issues with brakes, with if the mobility scooter was in good conditions for it to be used by a family, and also are investigating different other motives to see what exactly happened and how this can be prevented the next time. Because it's something that should not ever happen during holidays, and in general in the life of any family, this should never ever happen again. So Benidorm will obviously continue fighting for the mobility scooter rules just to make sure that everything is safe for people and no such horrible accidents will happen anywhere near soon. Let's move to a slightly more pleasant and positive news. The rooftop terraces. Rooftops right now, they are quite popular in a lot of different areas in Spain, especially in big cities where you don't have any kind of beach area, nothing at all. So on top of a lot of highest buildings, they're putting some swimming pools and some nice chill out bars and lounges for people to enjoy after work or on weekends to escape from the sometimes unpleasant feeling when you are inside of a huge town, you know, just to be able to breathe and enjoy the views. So here in Benidorm, the rooftop fashion is starting just right now. You know, we have a lot of places which I'll be giving you a full list as well, and I'll even tell you more for that. One of the next upcoming days, we will be making a complete tour down rooftop terraces in Benidorm so that you would be able to see which rooftop terraces do we have, how they look like in real life, and just plan it for your future holidays here in Benidorm. So let's start with one of the first ever rooftop terraces that Benidorm had, which is obviously the Madeira Central Hotel. I have here one picture so you will be able to see how amazing the views are from here, and I'll tell you even more. We already have the complete tour down the lovely rooftop terrace of Madeira Central Hotel in the center of Benidorm, and I'm gonna put your link here in the comments down below where you can check it completely and see if maybe that will be the place where you'll be having some nice drink or snack and contemplate the full Benidorm's skyline on your holidays. The next ones to open were in the Hotel Voramar. This is one of the terraces that started parties, especially for the outside guests. You always go there, it's allowed. And they've started DJ sessions, live music as well, especially on weekends, and also silent parties, which is where basically they give you some earphones and you're just like headphones and you are just sitting listening to the music in here by yourself, and it's silent because no one else can hear it, just you know, you listen to the music that you want, having some nice drinks, some nice chat. And that's just a great way of having some special time here in Benidorm to remember. Also, some other hotels tried not to copy. I don't want to say copy because like a lot of the hotels can have similar ideas. I mean, there's nothing unique by now already. But some more hotels that did that was Hotel Alameda. They also put some silent party. They also put some DJ sessions in there on the upper floor terrace. Obviously from there you also have a view towards Old Benidorm, Old Town, towards the end of the Levante beach and all Rincon area, as well as the Poniente beach side, which is just gorgeous views. And some more hotels that have it are Devora Sky, which is quite a small hotel, I must say, at the end of the Levante beach, like in the Benidorm's Old Town zone. And my personal favorite right now is Hotel Gold Arcos, brand new, refurbished, basically built from scratch on the ashes of the old Hotel Los Arcos, which was not used for maybe even a decade more or less. And we did a full tour there as well as soon as it reopened for its guests. Amazing 4 stars hotel right near the British Street in front of the Hotel Presidente, and from their rooftop terrace, which includes swimming pool area and the terrace with sunbeds, the views are just incredible. So make sure you visit it if you have some free time here in Benidorm or in the area nearby. And then there are quite a few others we will be checking in the official rooftop tour shortly here on the channel. The truth is that it's a new fashion right now here in Benidorm, and a lot of the hotels that do have this opportunity are trying to figure out how to change their rooftop to a lovely terrace with a lounge in it, because it's becoming extremely popular. It's something that a lot of guests of the hotel and tourists in general love. and they love to spend their time in there, make some nice pictures and watch the sunset, for example, from one of these terraces in Benidorm. So it's quite probable that a lot of the hotels will be starting to open shortly these rooftop fantastic places to visit. By the way, one of the last hotels to be fully refurbished, the Primavera Park, that we still need to visit quite soon here on the channel. They also have a spectacular terrace on the rooftop, also with a lounge area and the spectacular infinity pool where people basically feel that they are floating in the air. So definitely visit those if you want some unique experiences here in Benidorm, especially after the full rooftop terraces tour will be out on the channel shortly, so that you would choose for yourself your favorite place to go. And now let's talk about the weather. What is waiting for all those of you who are coming shortly on holidays here to Benidorm or surrounding area. Right now it's basically the end of August already, so this end of August will be slightly different. It's not going to be as hot already. There's not going to be any new heat wave, and there's going to be some clouds and rain in this zone. Actually, Valencian community is in alert right now due to storms and rain. Today here, as you can see on this first map, it's going to be quite cloudy. Some of the clouds are coming slowly to our zone of Benidorm, but today it's not going to be raining, which we cannot say about tomorrow, because it does show it might rain at some specific points of the day tomorrow in here, but it's still going to be really warm, really nice outside. So a slight summer rain is not going to be something that will stop tourists from continuing to explore. The rest of the week, this rain will go away. We will have some clouds, but nothing to be worried about. And concerning the temperatures, as you can see on the second map, temperatures will remain stable. It's going to be around 30 degrees here in this zone. So still really warm, and summer still continues in here. In Alicante, it's going to be even warmer, around 35 degrees. In Barcelona, it will be around 30. Granada around 36. Malaga 29. Sevilla 37. Madrid 33. Murcia 34, Balearic Islands 32 degrees, Canarian between 25 and 29, which is their usual temperature, and Valencia 29 degrees. The water temperature is still of 28.2 degrees, which is still a gorgeous temperature to swim in our lovely Mediterranean Sea. And this air temperature will be here with us for the next week or so minimum. So perfect for exploring, especially with some light clouds in the sky. I hope you enjoyed watching today's news update. Stay safe, be careful on your holidays, and I hope you'll have some fun and explore all our area has to offer. I'll see you in the next video this Sunday. Bye.